kind of cocoa butter, shea moisture. What was going on when you was making this album? Because it feels so good.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. It was just over the last 4 years. I mean, I think I had the time to really let it develop. And I think a lot of people move really fast nowadays, but I had the leisure to really just develop the record over the last 3.5, 4 years. So there's a lot of time and attention paid and a lot of love poured into this record.
Why also did you choose to drop it right before Juneteenth?
I think, June is Black Music Month, first of all. It's Juneteenth. I mean, the record is called Vantablack. If that gives you any indication, that is where I feel at this point in history, like the blackest I have ever been. And it's an interesting evolution. So I wanted to share it, definitely wanted to share in Black Music Month. I tend to put records out toward the fall, but I really wanted people to have it for the summer because it has some tempo and it has some I feel like people are going to dance finally because I've been trying to get into clubs and in the Jeep for the last 1,000 years. So yeah, I think June was perfect. It was perfect, and I keep telling folks in the show, like, play it for your Juneteenth celebration. Have a Juneteenth party and play the record.
Awesome. And that's going to be easy to do, especially with, the features you got on here. Anybody that I know loves to hear Michael McDonald's voice. So can you give us a sneak peek of what that's going to feel like?
What's interesting? It's a feature. It's not a duet, but it's a feature. And he is, if you really love Michael McDonald the way I really love Michael McDonald, all the hits, the Doobie Brothers, the Patti LaBelle, his records. But he was one of the most prolific session musician singers of all time. His voice is on so many records across so much music, Steely Dan records, Chris Cross records, Christopher Cross records, across so many backgrounds and parts. And so to have him come in the studio with me and sing and sort of feature on this track is just, it's just like a childhood dream realized.
That's awesome. And now what about MC Light? Because I saw she's on there and then you got some other things cooking, Common, and I don't want to give it all away, but I've been looking.
The track listing is up on all the DSPs, so everyone can see that Michael McDonald and Willow Smith and Gerald Albright and Common and Rhapsody and MC Light and Fonte are all on the album. I'm excited. The single that's out right now features MC Light. It's called Mood for You. So I'm so excited that the legends agreed to work with me,
And you said you wanted to get into the clubs. I hope you realize that Mood for You is going to be having a line dance probably made in the next week or so.
I hope so. That's my favorite thing. A line dance or roller skating, I'm in. I'm with it.
So now thinking about also working with younger folks like Willow, because a lot of folks are shining the light on her right now. Why was it important to add her to what you got going on?
What's interesting is I've been a fan of hers forever. I think she is, I see so much of myself in her at that age. And she's so inspiring to me, right now. So I don't see her as an age. I absolutely see her as this burgeoning musician who's really about her stuff. And I can relate. And so the song, I just played her the song and she said, oh, wow, I'd love to try and sing on this. And I said, well, go ahead. It's a song that didn't even have lyrics, and Willow wrote a hook for it. And it's just perfect. And I hope I get to work with her again. I think she's a phenomenal talent. And I definitely look at her at 23, 24, however old she is. And that is the mindset I was in. I was really trying to learn as much, and I still am in a lot of ways. I definitely have a kinship with young women, particularly young women who are in this business and real musicians.
That's awesome. And just thinking about being somebody who's phenomenal, and obviously you could tell that you practice your talent. You can even harmonize with yourself. What would you offer as advice to people that are trying to do what you do on some part of a level at what you do, just moving forward?
My real thing is for people to listen. It's really important to listen and learn as much as you can. The reason that you love the musicians that you love, or the rappers that you love, or the writers that you love, is because they understand their craft. They have lived in it long enough or educated themselves long enough And by educate, I mean, some people did it in school, some people did it on the street, some people did it in the home, some folks did it in the church, some folks did it at work, some people did it as they grew their families. There are a lot of ways to learn, but all of that has to inform your art. And so my number one piece of advice to young musicians is to listen to everything that you can and go back. You know, I don't want to mention a master to you, and I don't want you to say to me, oh, well, I wasn't born. Yeah, no, you weren't born then. When I was growing up, my parents listened to a lot of music, and I knew the music they listened to. I knew the music their parents listened to because it was important to me. So as a student of music, you've got to study as much as you can. Listen.
Any tracks you want the folks to specifically listen to or start to finish the right way?
I think start to finish is great because what I plan every time is to create an experience for people, to create a beginning, a middle, and an end. That is what I strive to do. I really want it to be like, this is the book, this is the Vantablack book. I really want it to be like that. Aside from that, the singles are out now. You can listen to all three of the singles and then you can get into the record. One thing that's crazy is even after programming the record, you know, one of the producers and I, Phil Boudreau, we listened to the record and I had this list together. I was listening to it for months in that order. And he said, hey, are you stuck to your order? Are you married to your order? And I was like, well, no, what you got? So we went in there and started shuffling stuff, and it's perfect in any order. It's so good. I'm so excited. It's definitely the best album I've ever made. And I feel so honored that like people are here to witness this. I'm really excited about the record. And even if you play it on shuffle, you're gonna be good.